Is the housing market slowing down in West Virginia? The operative word is slowing, not crashing. So if you buy a house now, will you still see an increase in its value? That's what I'm talking about, so stay tuned. I'm Jana Classy. This is my husband, Paul, and we are realtors here in the Eastern Panhandle with Snyder Bailey and Associates. One of the first things I noticed that made me think maybe there's a sign, this is a sign of a slowdown, was an email I got from a builder offering a bonus at settlement to agents that bring a buyer to that subdivision. Builders usually don't offer bonuses if they have plenty of buyers themselves. First time I've seen that in a while. Well, you see it all the time. Predicting the future is a tricky thing because curveballs can come out of nowhere and throw the whole economy on a new path. The war in Ukraine, gas shortages, continuing high inflation, rising interest rates, those developments are some of the reasons for the predictions of a housing slowdown. And you see those predictions everywhere, on the news, online, so that influences what everybody thinks is going to happen, consumer confidence. And that's a big influence on what actually happens. People see those predictions and they hold back. But I have noticed a slowdown. As recently as last month and the month before, the minute I'd put up a new listing, I'd get a flurry of requests to tour the house. Just in the last 2 weeks, I've noticed a slowdown, a viewing request. It hasn't stopped. They still come, but not at the same rate. The results for June aren't in yet, so we'll all see if there's a change. I'll do a video with those numbers. I did find some data. According to Logan Mohtashami, hope I said that right. In order for a housing slowdown to happen, the months of inventory need to go above 4 months with some duration. In May, inventory levels were at 3 months. That's low. So we'll see if there's a change in that in June. I'll be on it. CoreLogic expects home price growth to be 5% over the coming 12 months. That would make a deceleration from the latest 12-month home price jump of 19%. Moody Analytics expects growth to be flat. Realtor.com is saying there may be a price drop in major metro areas where prices got so high, few people could afford to buy a house. And that is especially true with the rise in interest rates. Places like Los Angeles and Chicago. So the cure for high prices is high prices. The price of homes in an area needs to be somewhat in line with incomes that can qualify to buy those homes. No one is predicting a housing bubble that'll pop and plummet prices. It's more of a slowdown in the feeding frenzy. So if you buy a home today, will the price go up in the coming months? According to what I've read, I wouldn't count on prices going up too much in the short term. Unless you're an investor, buying a home is more than a means to make a short-term profit. It is a hedge against inflation because a mortgage payment remains the same while rent goes up every year. So long-term, home ownership is a very good idea. You are building up equity, so that's like a built-in savings account. And we know, notwithstanding a few ups and downs, home prices trend up. The only anomaly was the 2007 housing crash, which was caused by circumstances that were very different than they are today. The recessions prior to 2007 did not see a big drop in house prices. Those loose lending practices leading up to the housing crash with all the foreclosures are no longer in practice. So mortgage loans given today are given to people that are qualified to pay that mortgage. And final thought, and this is just my take on things, I just don't think we're going to see a big price drop unless some disaster happens. The rate of price increases will probably slow down. there's a big group of millennials wanting to become homeowners. So there's buyers out there. And there's not a bunch of risky loans with looming foreclosures. I think buying a home is still a very good idea, and the Eastern Panhandle is a good bet. We're close to the DC area, but lots less expensive and with a more appealing lifestyle to lots of people wanting to get away from all the congestion. And with telecommuting now available, the Eastern Panhandle is more accessible to people working in the DC metro area. If you're curious about this area, the video over there on the right is all about the Eastern Panhandle, so check that out. And call anytime if you need help in the real estate department. Call 304-264-2828. Okay. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you next week. Have a great week. Bye.